Well, everybody, it's been over a year now. It's been since March 16th was the day, March 16th, 2011. I'm sorry, 2012, last year. Basically, when I found out that Kevin Trudeau and his global Ponzi scheme, the Global Information Network, was all based on fraud and lies. That's when I found out the platinum bonus, was huge fraud, all based on lies. And I found out so much. Basically, that's the day when I found out it was all lies, and I started speaking out against it. Started out on Facebook and moving away to bigger and wider horizons to get the message out. So basically, here we are, March 2013, a year later, and through hard work, dedication, and persistence, and not giving up, just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, and making sure justice was served. And that's all I had in mind this whole time, is making sure justice is served, and that Kevin Trudeau and Jen has been brought to justice for all the people that they scammed, all the millions of dollars that they scammed. I can tell you now with confidence that justice has been served, and sweet Mother Glory has blessed us with her presence, because justice has been served in a way you cannot even imagine. If I told you how it's been served, you probably wouldn't believe me. So I'm going to have to just show you proof of what has happened, which I cannot do at this moment, but I will do that very soon, and you will know what has taken place, and you'll know that it's truly over for Kevin and Jen. Jen is by far done. It is so over, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's no denying it. It's done. There's no way it can survive. The rumor already around the block is that it's shutting down its operations in the United States, trying to operate completely abroad. Rumors of that, not rumors, but evidence of that is what has happened, taking place already. Lee Kinney, the person who runs a natural cure website, who lives in Europe, is now the new director of GIN. Okay, it used to be Dean Andrews, but pretty much word has it that Dean Andrews now is officially talking to the FTC and has given up all the information on Kevin Trudeau to the FTC. So he is no longer the director of GIN. Now it is Lee Kinney, the new director of GIN, who lives in Europe. So the director now for the company lives out of the United States, and also basically I confronted the GIN staff members a few weeks ago. In particular, one of them in particular, Neil Sant, or Sunil Sant, whatever his name is, real name, the Indian guy who's a very heavy hitter, key GIN staff member. I confronted him in person a few weeks back, and confronted him with a lot of stuff that he had no answers for. And basically, his reaction, and the reaction of the whole GIN staff was the most cowardice reaction I've ever seen. This is the biggest coward I've ever seen in my whole life. To be honest, Neil Stant is one of the biggest cowards I've ever met, because the way he reacted and the way the whole GIN staff reacted was just embarrassing. And Kevin Trudeau can, that's who's representing Kevin Trudeau and GIN, and it's pretty sad. The way they acted was just shameful to all humans. Basically, it was just they couldn't even confront me man to man, face to face. It was just shame, and it was just a glorious justice served that day. And you will find out what I'm talking about soon enough. But it was just glorious justice. That's all I can say. And they couldn't have reacted in a worse way for them, because it was just you'll see what I'm talking about. But basically, Neil Sand knows it's all over, and he knows that his reputation is ruined, and that his lies and his fraud is going to be exposed. And now he's begging to get out of this whole mess. He took to the court to try to get his subpoena that he was subpoenaed by FTC to testimony against Kevin Trudeau and about all the fraud and stuff like that. So now he's trying to get his testimony to be under the rug, basically, or it's not. He's trying to make it to where it's not public, so where everybody can't see it, what he says, stuff like that. So, but basically, it's not going to happen. He's pretty much going to have to do what the rest are going to do, and has to have all the answers public. But basically, he knows it's done. That's another evidence that GIN is done. It's because the staff members know it's done. Neil, in particular, is taking action to prevent himself from collapsing with Kevin and Jen. But it's too late. Nothing they can do now. Nobody can do to stop it. The damage is done. The storm has formed. The perfect storm has formed, and it is headed directly for Jen and Kevin Trudeau. And it's all crumbling down. I promise you that. the gin Kool-Aid drinking zombies that are still in gin and still believe all this fairy tales about Gin Council and still believe that Kevin's a billionaire, you are mentally ill and you have serious mental problems, and you will see that what I'm saying is the truth. And I really don't care what you think at this point because nothing you can do can stop from happening, and nothing you can do can stop Gin from collapsing because it's all collapsing from all the bad karma and all the fraud and all the lies, and it's nothing nobody can do. So you can leave your comments to Gin Kool-Aid drinking zombies. My most recent video had so many hits on YouTube. It's one of my biggest hits so far, and I just found the comments left by Gin Kool-Aid drinkers just absolutely hilarious. And I actually find them amusing, and I just find them to be more glorious for this victory for me. And I appreciate your comments because they just show how mentally ill you are and how clueless you are to what's even really going on. So continue to leave your gin Kool-Aid drinking zombie comments. But the reason I wanted to make this video was to show you what happened today, actually. Kevin Trudeau, as we all know, I posted on Facebook. I didn't make a video about it, but I'm sure most of you have heard by now. He is mandated to appear in court May 21st, Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. He has to appear in court himself to give testimony as to why he cannot pay and to other things of that nature. But get this, I cannot believe he had the audacity to do this, but he did because uh, he's that this whatever you want to call it, cocky, desperate. He's just in my opinion, a straight freaking. He doesn't think properly sometimes because he asked the judge for another 60-day continuance to his court appearance May 21st, on top of all the countless continuances that he's already been granted, more than I've ever seen ever in any court case. So, and this is for sure not going to be granted. That's for sure. The judge, in his right mind, would not grant this continuance. But the reasons that he gave are just so idiotic and so bizarre. And basically, he's claiming if he comes to court on May 21st, he's going to have no choice but to plead the fifth because he has a criminal court case coming up in June. The FTC case where he owes $37 million is a civil case, right? So his civil case is set to appear in court May 21st. He said he's going to have to plead the fifth, so he doesn't incriminate himself for his criminal case that's coming up in June. So, but then he says by having to plead the fifth by appearing in court so fast, he's going to pretty much screw himself in his criminal case and going to end up in jail either way. So he knows he's done. He knows he's finished. And there's nothing he can do. He's just trying to prolong the agony. But basically, he's going to try to plead the fifth, and it's going to pretty much seal the deal with the FTC's case. And pretty much, he knows this, and he's going to be done. And the judge is going to send him to jail that day, May 21st, and he's going to hold him in jail and hold him till his court date, June, and then he's going to have like pretty much two sentences against him, one civil, one criminal. And that's what's going to happen, in my opinion, and that's why he's trying to prolong this as much as possible. But I think honestly what's going to happen is he's not going to show up to court. I think he's going to be a fugitive of the law because I mean he took all GIN members' money. He has millions of dollars hid away in Swiss bank accounts and stuff that government probably has no idea about. So he's going to become a fugitive and live off the scammings of thousands of people that he scammed and live a fugitive of the law in Switzerland. And that's what's probably going to happen because if I was in his shoes, I know I wouldn't show up to court. I'm not going to go to jail. I mean, screw that. So I'd probably do the same if I was him, and that's what's going to happen, and he's just going to be done. So GIN's going to be shut down because it's going to be labeled as a fraud company. But the FTC, without the FTC, I made sure GIN is going to be shut down from actions that I have taken personally. So I'm not even worried what the FTC does anymore. But they're going to help the situation as well because it's a perfect storm, as I say it. It's all coming together at one time. So my actions, the FTC actions, it's all coming together. It's all over. GIN's going to be labeled as a fraud company, going to be shut down in the United States, and then when it's labeled as a fraud company, the United States allies countries are going to see that it's a fraud company, and they're going to kick it out of their country, which includes Europe, and it's going to all collapse. I mean, it's going to collapse in America for sure, and probably what's going to happen is going to try to stay afloat abroad, try to stay in operations in Europe. But it's all going to come crumbling down because it's just not going to happen. It's not going to be possible to keep this whole Ponzi scheme going, and they know it, so it's all over. Uh, so I just find that the Kool-Aid drinking zombie retards are just, they're gonna make this thing more enjoyable because they're so clueless and they're so lost touch with reality that it's just gonna make it justice that much more sweeter. And another big update today that happened, I got word from one of Kevin Trudeau's very close friends. Out of respect to basically out of respect to Peter Wink, not out of respect to this douchebag. Because I don't know this guy personally, but in my opinion, he's a douchebag because because he's associated very closely with Kevin Trudeau and he's associated very closely with Jin. So, but basically, out of respect to Peter Wink, I'm going to not say this person's name, but I will say that basically himself admitting what Kevin Show has told him in person that Gin USA is done, and they've been laying off staff members. They laid off several staff members in the Gin office, the Gin store. Even from what I told you from the Gin employee that got fired 2 weeks ago, she even said that they're laying off staff members like crazy. There are less and less live seminars. They're trying to make it to where there's pretty much no live seminars. All the Gin speakers now have to pay for their own travel. They have no money, and it's just, I'm telling you, it's crumbling down. Okay, just because it hasn't happened yet, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Like I said, I'm more confident now than I've ever been before that Jin is done. Kevin Trudeau is finished. It's old news. He's yesterday's trash. It's done. He knows this, and you will see what I'm talking about very soon. I made sure that he is finished. There's no mercy shown, and all the Jin staff will be held accountable, and it's all crumbling down, and you will see it soon. And even from Kevin Trudeau, I wish I could say this person's name so you would know how serious this is, but I'm trying to keep my respect here as much as possible, so I won't say his name. But just know that just go look around in Gin, see who's not there anymore, and you'll probably figure it out. So, but this, I mean, they're dropping like flies. I'm telling you, staff members, the speakers, they're dropping like flies. And what Kevin doesn't realize is when he screws them over and stabs them in the back, they're gonna come to me. They're gonna come to Peter Wing. They're gonna come to Dr. C. They're gonna come to us and tell us more and more and more, and you're gonna be screwed more. You clueless. What, I don't even know what to call you, Kevin. You're just you live in a fantasy world with your make believe Gen Council, and where was your Gen Council 2 weeks ago? Where were they when the situation happened that you definitely know about? I know that. Where were they? Where was your Gen Council of billionaires that has all these connections? Where were the Gen Council? So you have nothing. You have no power at your side. You have nothing. I have all the power at my side. I have all the resources. I have all the government agencies. I have all the stuff that I need to bring you down, and bring you down I will. And Jin is crumbling down. You can count on that. You can take that to the bank. And as my famous phrase, I want this to be happening. My famous phrase, I think it's going to happen to where everybody will. The legacy of Jin, the fall of Jin, is basically what my legacy wants to be. Is Kevin Trudeau, you took $30,000 from me. In return, I take $30 million from you, and you are basically finished. And I made sure of that. And the next video update I make will be telling you guys all the details in great detail, and I'll be shouting from the rooftops what is going on, and the whole world will know. I promise you that. Until that day, which will be very soon, I can't give you a date because I can't. I'm trying to give least amount of information here as possible so I can maintain the upper hand against Jen as long as possible. So until the next video I make, just be rejoicing that justice has been served, and I will talk to you all very soon. Take care.